We head over to our Sea Dragons here, who I hit you here with all these tiebreakers, and this needs to happen, and they did you score this many points. With a St. Louis Battlehawks, they did beat the Orlando Guardians, but they didn't hit certain thresholds enough to guarantee their playoff spot. So that led for Seattle the next day to only really need to win in order for them to advance and to secure a playoff spot. I know that everybody was all confused with all these tiebreakers, but the NFL has these tiebreakers as well. But because of the fact that the XFL only plays a 10-game season, the tiebreakers played more of a role here than they would in the NFL. So April 23rd versus the Las Vegas Vipers, a 28-9 victory. Our player of the game, wide receiver Josh Gordon. Gordon, 9 receptions for 115 receiving yards. Ben DiNucci had a solid game. He did have 3 passing touchdowns, but he did throw 2 interceptions. Some struggles there, but Seattle would pull away. A scoreless first quarter and a relatively quiet first half. Seattle would ultimately be able to pull away in the next few quarters to secure that playoff berth on home field and beat a Vegas team that has also struggled. So the team does clinch a playoff berth with their victory, thanks to the 5th tiebreaker between them and the Battlehawks. I know the Battlehawks fans were upset about that. Aaron Rodgers just got traded to the Jets. Okay, care less. This was a game that, obviously Seattle needed to win. There was they needed to score this amount. There were very few instances where Seattle would miss out on a playoff berth. So effectively, all they did need to do was win, and they were in. And Seattle has been regarded as one of those teams to where if they get into the playoffs, they're a team to watch. You look at their record, their first 2 losses were they've lost 3 games. Pardon me. 2 to DC and 1 to St. Louis. Those first 2 and the first 2 of the year, DC, they should have won it. They had the ball on the goal line and they fumbled within the dying minute. And then against St. Louis, they gave up a last-minute drive for them to kick a field goal. And then this game against DC, the second game a few weeks ago, was only by 1 point. They only lost by 1 point to the Defenders, who are going to play in this playoff matchup. So Seattle is very much in contention for this. They are very much a team to watch in the playoffs, considering their offense and their defense has played really well too throughout the course of the year. They've had some struggles at certain points, but their defense certainly is a big part in this. I know the offense has gotten most all of the attention for this Sea Dragons team, but the defense has played a really solid role as well. So we look ahead to the XFL playoffs, where the Sea Dragons will play the DC Defenders in the North Division Championship game. If they win, they head to the XFL Championship. So Seattle has a 7-3 record. They sit at third in the XFL North. Well, wait, I don't know if that changes. Let's look. Regardless, they are headed to a playoff game. XFL website is slow. Look over here too. So I don't know if they ultimately ended up. No, they did. Okay, so they ended up at second in the XFL North, obviously. They got the playoff berth. April 30th at the DC Defenders with a 12 p.m. Pacific time start, 3 p.m. Eastern. This game will be streamed on ESPN, so you don't have to look too far. Or if you want to watch it on ESPN Plus as well, you have that option. So again, Seattle has stacked up well against the Defenders this year. They should have a 2-0 record against them, having had the ball on the goal line in week 1 and only losing by a point in their second competition. So this it's hard to beat a team anytime in any league 3 times in 1 year, except for baseball. That's different. So Seattle has a really solid shot. They're going to need a really complete game offensively, got to cut down on the turnovers, and they need their defense to show out once again.